Hi everyone, my name is Vince Gelman. Thank you for joining me today. I am really happy to be making this video. And it's a video that I've been wanting to make for a while now. And I'm curious if you resonate with these words, especially what I'm going to share today, a little bit more than other videos that I make. I am curious how you resonate with what I'm going to share with you today. So, there's a channeler that I used to follow, and she's very well known, pretty well known internationally, and she channels this. Let's just say it's a representative of the light realms, the high light realms. And I'm not going to say her name, and I'm not going to be overly specific about what or who she channels. I don't think that's important. But what I will say is this, that I spent a decent amount of time reading her channeled summaries on her website. And so she would do these readings and then she would transcribe them and put them on her website. And I would read them. And I would say that for the most part, I resonated with what she had to say. But there were times that I didn't resonate with things, and that was fine. I was fine with not agreeing with everything. I don't expect a channeler to be 100% accurate. But over time, I found myself resonating less and less. There was more of a discord in me in regards to what I was reading. More of a feeling of this doesn't feel right to me, and I came across a reading not that long ago that kind of was like the end for me. That was it. I can't go beyond this point. And I want to tell you kind of in a nutshell what she said, and then tied into a larger theme that I'm seeing amongst New Agers. And this is where I am curious about what you think. I'm curious if you're seeing the same thing, feeling the same thing. This isn't about judging. I'm not someone that judges. This is about recognizing pattern and learning and growing and becoming more spiritually aware people. So this is not about judging her or anyone else, but it is important to name these things, I think. So here is what she said in essence, and this channeled reading occurred after October 7th, and it felt to me that she was referring to specifically the growing escalation between Israel and Gaza, which ended up being more of a war on Gaza, as we know, and genocide. So here's what she said in essence. It was this. Turn away from all the suffering of the world. Don't pay attention to it. Turn away, go out with your friends, have fun, be merry, and keep your vibrations high. That was essentially the message. And I read that and I was like, wow, that is the end for me. That is the end for me. Goodbye. So let's break down what she said, what she wrote. Number one, turn away from the suffering of the world. Don't pay attention to that stuff, which she might have, I don't remember exactly the wording, but she might, in her own way, have called it negative. Some spiritual people would call it negative. Oh, all that negative stuff that's going on in the world. Is it negative or is it reality? So, turn away from all that stuff that's going on in the world. Okay. So, these are our family members out there who are suffering. This is our family of light. This is our family of souls that are suffering in Gaza. This is our family of souls that are suffering in Ukraine, in this corrupt war in Ukraine, very corrupt. This is our family of souls that are suffering in Africa. Julian Assange, political prisoner, he is our brother. He is our brother. Yeah, we've never met these people. But they are our family. And it is an act of spiritual maturity to see them that way. That child who is starving to death in Gaza, that boy or girl is part of your family. That's your brother or sister out there. That mother who's scraping to find food, she's trying to find food. She's digging for food to feed her kids. That mother, that scared mother, a terrified mother, she's your sister. That father who is bent over in grief because he's just lost his son or daughter, that is your brother. That guy with Down syndrome who's just been conscripted to fight in the very corrupt Ukraine war, because there's people with Down syndrome now being conscripted, just like there's pregnant women being conscripted in Ukraine, in this absolute meat grinder of a war. That guy with Down syndrome, he's your brother. All those people who have lost limbs in the Ukraine war, they're your brothers and sisters. You've never met them before, but they deserve your heart. It is a spiritual, immature act to turn our backs on these people. Because when we turn our backs on them, what we're doing is we're turning our heart away from them. They need our heart. They need us to turn our heart towards them, because when we turn our heart towards them, we give them our love. We give them our compassion. We say without words, we care about you. We see your suffering. You see, and in this, they're less alone. They need to know the world sees them. That's what they need. They need to know that the world is witnessing their suffering. They need to know that the world is taking their suffering to heart. It is absolutely cowardly and incredibly spiritually immature to turn our backs on our brothers and sisters, to make merry and keep our vibrations high. What is the point, everyone? What is the point of sipping our peppermint tea, our organic peppermint tea, and drinking our green smoothies, our organic green smoothies? What is the point in going to all these yoga classes and doing our meditation? What is the point in drinking ayahuasca and laying on Reiki tables and going to therapy and doing our breathwork sessions? What is the point in healing and becoming empowered and awakening and raising our vibrations if we can't even be with the suffering of the world? Is it just for us? Are we doing this just for us? Are we doing this just for our close little network of family and friends? No. We are here to be global citizens. That's what it means to be a true human being, a mature human being, an evolved human being, is to be a global citizen. You see, spiritualists talk about oneness, the unity of all things, yet they simultaneously think the spiritual thing to do is to turn their back on their suffering brothers and sisters. Isn't that interesting? My goal is to become one with all, except those people over there who are suffering. That's just a little too negative for me. I want to be one with all that is positive. Once again, we are speaking of spiritual immaturity. Meanwhile, you have truckers, plumbers, blue-collar, everyday folks who have never drank any organic peppermint tea, who have never laid on yoga mat, who've never sat in a therapy office before, who've never laid on a Reiki table, who have the heart, the courage, the spine, the guts, the soul to face reality and to name it, to name the intolerable, to take it to heart, to feel it. Like the incredible trekkers here in Canada. I'm very proud of these people. They lit up the world. They really did. They lit up the world, not just Canada. Who's spiritual? Who is spiritual? We say that. I'm on the spiritual path. Really? Everybody is on the spiritual path. Even the despots, even the psychopaths ruling this planet, they're actually on the spiritual path as well, because everything is spirit. It's a matter of consciousness. You see, this is another way that spiritualists separate themselves. I'm on the spiritual path. No, everybody is on the spiritual path. How's this resonating so far? How does this feel to you? So she said, turn away, hang out with your friends, be merry. Wonderful. Nothing wrong with hanging out with your friends and being merry. Do it, of course. It's not about, spending hours a day looking at horrific footage. There is, though, some level of responsibility required, in my opinion, to take some information to heart, to spend some time being disturbed, turning our hearts towards uncomfortable reality, letting our hearts break open. So I'm not against having fun, but this is the thing. We're here to be heartbroken. And in having our hearts break open, we open our hearts to a greater capacity to love, to care, to have compassion. That is the blessing. We're here to be human beings, everyone. Call yourself a spiritual teacher, spiritual leader, a yogi, a healer, whatever you want. But at the end of the day, first and foremost, you are a human being so long as you're in this body. You are human. Start with that. What does human being mean? Human comes from the word humus. Humus means earth. Humility comes from the word humus. Human and humility come from the word humus, and humus means earth. So to be human and to be humble means to be down to earth. And what's going on in this earth right now? A lot of suffering. So if you want to be human and you want to be down to earth, turn towards the suffering and take it to heart. That is spiritual maturity. Not hiding amongst your spiritual friends, sipping your organic peppermint tea. Being spiritual is not about compartmentalizing yourself and compartmentalizing life. It's about opening to life and being human. So this is the message I have for all of you, that is its own tragedy. So who is the spiritually mature person? What does it mean to be spiritual? So I think I'm going to leave it at that. I think that's a good place to leave this video. I'd be curious what you have to say. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you for listening and watching, and take good care. Bye.